Ah, Asia, composed of 48 countries, all more fascinating than others, including some of the world's most high and marvelous peaks and summits. Today, we will focus on Asia's highest natural points and how to explore them. And we start our journey in Russia, the largest country of the world by size. Russia is a transcontinental country spanning Eastern Europe and Northern Asia. It is the largest country in the world by area, covering more than 17 million square kilometers or 6 million square miles, and encompassing 1/8 of Earth's inhabitable landmass. Russia extends across 11 time zones and borders 16 sovereign nations, the most of any country in the world. It is the 9th most populous country in the world and the most populous country in Europe, with a population of 145.5 million. It goes without saying that such a large area brings a wide variety of climate and geographies. And it is for that reason that we will only focus here on the Asian-most part of Russia, spanning from Yekaterinburg and east. Located in the oblast of Kamchatka Krai, the Kliucheskoy is the highest point of Asian Russia, culminating at 4,750 meters or 15,253 feet. The peak elevates itself 100 kilometers away from the Bering Sea on the ultra-east of the country. Today, its volcano remains very active with multiple eruptions in the past decade. After 2 days of car travel, your journey to the top will start with a helicopter transfer to the crater Perevalny, located between the volcanoes Ushkovsky and Kliuchkeskaya Sopka at a height of 2,700 meters. While the ascent and final push can be reached on day 5, a complete adventure of 7 additional days awaits you, bringing you close to unique rivers, caverns, craters, and more. Flying south, we are moving on to our second country of focus today, Indonesia. Officially known as the Republic of Indonesia, is a country of Southeast Asia and Oceania, between the Indian Ocean to the west and the Pacific Ocean to the east. The country consists of over 17,000 islands, including some of the largest and well-known Sumatra, Java, Sulawesi, and parts of Borneo and New Guinea. The island country lies along the equator, and its climate tends to be relatively even. While the country's climate is almost entirely tropical, dominated by the tropical rainforest climate found in every of its large islands, the area remains unstable, making it a site of numerous volcanoes and frequent earthquakes. Lying on the Pacific Ring of Fire, where the Indo-Australian Plate and the Pacific Plate are pushed under the Eurasian Plate, the Republic counts more than 130 active volcanoes. The country's highest peak is located at one of the summits of Mount Jayawijaya. The peak itself is known as Puncak Jaya or Carten's Pyramid and has an elevation of 16,024 feet or 4,884 meters. Although Indonesia's peak is considered of medium height, its exploration difficulty remains extremely high due to its location surrounded by dense tropical rainforests that would leave any unexperimented explorer behind. The starting location to the top is only accessible by helicopter from the country's closest island in Papua New Guinea. With a way around spread over 6 full days, this climb will require both expert teams and equipments. As a result, we will rate this peak with an expert stamp and hope the weather goes your way to make your $30,000 worth the spend. More than 12 hours of flight to the northwest of the world will now bring us to the Eurasian side of Turkey. Turkey, recently renamed the Republic of Turkey, is a transcontinental country located mainly on the Anatolian Peninsula in Western Asia, with a small portion on the Balkan Peninsula in Southeast Europe. It shares borders with Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Greece, and Bulgaria. 97% of the country's 85 million population currently lives in what is commonly called Asian Turkey, separated by the Bosphorus from the European Turkey to the west. Turkey's geography is widely varied, ranging from flat plateaus resembling Baltic landscapes in the west to a much more mountainous topography on its east. As a result, the country's climate greatly changes, and the eastern Anatolia remains the country's coldest region. And this is where the country's highest peak, the Mount Ararat, is also located. A dozen kilometers away from the Armenian border stands the country's highest peak at 5,137 meters, or 16,854 feet high. You might be familiar with the mountain's name, as it is, in the Catholic tradition, the resting place for Noah's Ark, ranging from 6 days for a classic exploration to 4 days for extreme adventures. The basics of mountaineering will be required to be mastered for a successful expedition. While the travel starts from the city of Dul-Bayezid, the real climb starts at 2,200 meters high, assisted by mules, with a total of 4 hours the first day, 8 hours on the second, 6 hours on the third. If all conditions are met, especially from a weather perspective, the peak should be reached on day 4 and allow for a peaceful descent the next day, allowing adventurers to enjoy spare time in the city on the last day. Let's now hop on a plane, or rather just a good car, and cross the border with our next country, Georgia. Georgia is a country located in the Caucasus, at the intersection of Eastern Europe and Western Asia. Although the country will generally refer itself as a European, we have decided to include its peak in the top 15 as it offers an extremely scenic opportunity to discover a sometimes misknown country. Just like Turkey, the country is bounded by the Black Sea, Russia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. With a population of less than 4 million people, of which a third live in its capital, Tbilisi, Georgia is today a representative democracy governed as a unitary parliamentary republic. Located in the northwest of the country, meters away from the border with Russia, the Shkara Glacier, considered as the country's highest natural peak, stands at 5,201 meters, or 17,064 feet high. A dangerous peak to climb, the Shkara Glacier will open itself to expert climbers from July to August, months benefiting from the best weather condition for a successful hike. Ranging from 14 to 17 days depending on acclimatation periods, your journey will start in Ushguli, a village easily accessible by road. Starting on day 4, an expert team of guides will lead you through the marvelous Georgian slopes that compose the glacier, to push for the summit on day 10. With a microclimate resulting in unstable weather conditions, the peak offers an adventurous journey for experts that wish to spend more than 5,000 euros for the climb. Flying out of Georgia, we are directing ourselves to one of the largest countries of our list, Iran. Persia, Iran, or even the Islamic Republic of Iran, is a country of Western Asia, bordered by countries such as Armenia and Azerbaijan. With a population of more than 85 million people, it is the 17th most populated country in the world, and its largest city, also its capital, Tehran, is the home of more than 7% of them. The country is located in a very seismically active area, and large earthquakes are common. The country's climate can be decomposed in 2 major parts, with a rather Mediterranean, hot, and arid climate to the west, and a more desertic climate to the east. It then goes without saying that Iran's highest point is located right in the middle, in the northern part, next to the coast of the Caspian Sea. Located in Amol, in the Mazandaran region, Mount Damavand is the country's highest natural point, standing at 5,610 meters. 5 days will be required for a successful hike to the top of Mount Damavand. With a day in reserve for acclimatation and bad weather, the climb starts from the Polor village accessible by car, and reaches its peak on day 4. Due to political uncertainties, your visit to the country might not be approved at the visa stage. Hence, we advise you to gather information on the topic as soon as possible. But with a price of close to $400 per person, we believe this climb to be of medium level, while offering amazing opportunities to discover a country that too few of us ever thought of visiting. Reaching our top 10, it is now time to move back east to a country unknown to many, recently facing political unrest, but remaining one of Asia's jewels, Myanmar. Formerly known as Burma, Myanmar is a country in Southeast Asia. It is actually the largest country of mainland Southeast Asia and has a population of 54 million as of 2017. Bordered by Bangladesh, India, China, Laos, and Thailand, the country's new capital is Naypyidaw. Lying in the monsoon region of Asia, the country's coast can receive up to 5,000 millimeters of rain annually. However, the northern regions tend to remain cooler with average temperatures between 20 and 25 degrees. And it is indeed in the very north of Myanmar that we find its highest natural point, the Hakakabo Razi. Standing at 5,881 meters, the scenic summit is complemented with an incredible biodiversity that make it one of the most beautiful peaks of the continent. Located at the tailhead of the Himalayas, the Kakabo Razi is very often considered as Asia's forgotten mountain due to its extremely complex access and almost impossible way to the top. Today, very few teams have reached the top of the mountain, and those who have recount a complex and extremely dangerous journey. I invite you to read the article on National Geographic linked in description, counting the story of a team who attempted to determine the exact height of the peak in 2014. But on a more positive note, let's fly up northwest and discover the wonderful country of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is a transcontinental landlocked country located mainly in Central Asia and partly in Eastern Europe. It borders Russia, China, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan. Its capital, Nur-Sultan, formerly known as Astana until 2019, replaces the country's previous capital, Almaty, since 1997. Kazakhstan is the world's largest landlocked country, the world's largest and northernmost Muslim-majority country by land area, and the 9th largest country in the world overall. It has a population of 19 million people and one of the lowest population densities in the world at fewer than 6 people per square kilometer. As it extends across both sides of the Ural River, considered as the dividing line separating Europe and Asia, our research today only focuses on the Asian side of the country. Khan Tegri is Kazakhstan's highest natural point, standing at 7,010 meters or very close to 23,000 feet. The pyramid-shaped mountain is a natural attraction for climbing and hiking expeditions, standing at the tri-border between Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and China. Roughly translated as Lord of the Sky in Uyghur and Turkic language, the Khan Tegri is one of the 5 Soviet snow leopard peaks, being all 5 peaks above 7,000 meters located in the former Soviet Union. Your journey will start in Nur-Sultan and lead to the base camp on day 3. Follows a climb period of 15 to 17 days, depending on the weather conditions and other technical considerations. This adventure is not an easy one. Crossing the path over 7,000 meters results in a lot more time to reach the top due to the required acclimatation periods and technical risks. While the price remains accessible, ranging from $4,000 to $5,000 per person, a very high level of skills will be required to ensure a successful reach to the top. But less than 20 kilometers to the north, we find our next country of focus, one of Kazakhstan's closest neighbors, Kyrgyzstan. Officially known as the Kyrgyz Republic, Kyrgyzstan is another mountainous, landlocked country in Central Asia. Bordered by Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, China, its largest city and capital is Bishkek. Ethnic Kyrgyz make up the majority of the country's 6 million people, followed by significant minorities of Uzbeks and Russians. Just like in Kazakhstan, the Kyrgyz language is closely related to other Turkic languages due to their rich ethnic heritages. Geography-wise, the country is covered at more than 80% by the Tian Shan, a complex mountain structure giving it its title of the Switzerland of Central Asia. Its climate will vary upon regions, with subtropical weathers in the south and polar climates in the north and east. As you would have understood, the country's highest natural point is located less than 20 kilometers from Kazakhstan's, and part of the 5 Soviet snow leopards peak, standing at 7,439 meters. Should you want to climb up the Jankish Chukusu, you need to be prepared. Starting from the beginning of August till the end of August, your window of operations will solely allow you to climb up and back, as a normal expedition, including acclimatation breaks and weather days, require 28 days to complete. The expedition is therefore reserved for the climbers who feel like testing themselves on one of the world's most challenging phases. You will reach the Pobeda base camp on day 4, following a few acclimatation walks. The real way up will be brought to you from day 8 onwards, where camp 2 and 3 will be reached. Expect your final push to be made on day 22 to 24, if everything goes according to plan, with a few days of rest in case of injury or bad weather. As this adventure is not for the lighthearted, the cost is not either, as it amounts to approximately $8,500 per person. Let's now move on to our number 7, Afghanistan. Officially known as the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, this is yet another landlocked country located at the crossroads of Central and South Asia. Often referred to as the Heart of Asia, it is bordered by Pakistan, Iran, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and China. Occupying more than 650,000 square kilometers or 250,000 square miles of land, the country is predominantly mountainous with plains in the north and southwest, which are separated by the Hindu Kush mountain range. As of 2021, its population slightly exceeds 40 million, mainly located in Kabul, the country's largest city and capital. Noshak is the second highest peak in the Hindu Kush range after Tirishmir at 7,492 meters, but it is the highest peak in Afghanistan. It lies at the border with Pakistan, with faces of the mountain falling over both territories. First climbed by a Japanese expedition in 1960, the peak can be accessed from the city of Wakhan in Afghanistan. While a lot of websites advertise expeditions to the summit, it remains unclear which remain active. Due to political unrest and natural dangers of the zone, the climb to the summit seems to be very complex and reserved to certain types of expedition only. However, reading from the countless stories found from the past decade, we understand that the way to the top remains doable, even in solo. After a complicated way through Afghanistan, your journey will start in Korog, leading you through the Wakhan corridor with a reach to base camp at 4,700 meters high, estimated on day 4 to 7, depending on the expedition. Your journey continues with rocky climbs and a final push by day 14 to 17. You can expect to be breathtaken by the view from the top over the wide Hindu Kush. With a total duration of about 25 days, this expedition seems to be priced around $4,000 per person. Moving on to one of Afghanistan's neighbor countries, we cross the border north and enter Tajikistan. The Republic of Tajikistan is a landlocked country of Central Asia, With an area of over 140,000 square kilometers or 55,000 square miles, the country has an estimated population of close to 10 million, mainly located in its capital and largest city, Dushanbe. It is bordered by Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and China. It is also separated narrowly from Pakistan by Afghanistan's Wakhan corridor. The country became independent from the Soviet Union during its disintegration in 1991, which ensued in a civil war that ended in 1997. While being the smallest nation of Central Asia, the country's land is mountainous and counts more than a dozen peaks above 4,000 meters high. It therefore goes without saying that the country's climate is mostly cold and dry, with more than half of it being polar. The country's highest peak is the Ismail Somoni Peak, standing at more than 25,000 feet or 7,495 meters above sea level. Now, I should warn you, should you want to climb this peak, you better be prepared and equipped, because it will not be an easy ride. Following a jaw-dropping helicopter ride from Kyrgyzstan on day 4, your real journey starts on day 7, with a first peak reached. The second peak on your way to the top will be reached on day 13, while your final destination can be pushed for by day 22. A round trip to the Communist Summit, as it is commonly nicknamed, can therefore take up to 28 days including travel and flights. For a price around $8,000 per person at a level of difficulty advanced to expert, this journey will be reserved to seasoned climbers in search of a thrill. Let's leave Central Asia behind for now and focus on more eastern and exotic countries, thousands of kilometers south, such as Bhutan. Bhutan, officially known as the Kingdom of Bhutan, is a unique landlocked country in the eastern Himalayas, located in Southeast Asia between China and India. A constitutional monarchy, independent since the 19th century, the country is known for having happiness as part of its economic and social measurements, sometimes making it part of the list of the happiest populations in the world. It is very important to note that Bhutan does not believe in mass tourism and is indeed very selective in the way it welcomes travelers through its territory. Part of the Himalayas to the east, it goes without saying that Bhutan is a mountainous country, as its average elevation stands around 3,280 meters above sea level. Located in the southern slopes of some of the world's highest mountains, Bhutan's climate varies with elevation, from subtropical in the south to temperate in the highlands and polar in the north. We therefore find the country's most elevated natural point in the north of the country, directly part of the Himalayas, near the border with Tibet. The Gangkhar Puensum is Bhutan's highest peak with a height of 7,570 meters or close to 25,000 feet. After Bhutan was opened for mountaineering in 1983, there were 4 main expeditions that resulted in failed summit attempts in 1985 and 1986. 13 years later, a Japanese expedition successfully climbed Liangkang-Kangri, a 7,535-meter subsidiary peak, separated from the main peak by a 2-kilometer long ridge to the northwest. Unfortunately, we may need to add the Gangkhar Puensum as part of our list of forbidden peaks, as mountaineering has been banned in the country since 2003. But it is now time to move to the country's direct neighbor, India. Officially known as the Republic of India, we now find ourselves in South Asia. It is the 7th largest country by area, but the second most populous country and the most populous democracy in the world. Bounded by the Indian Ocean, the Arabian Sea, and the Bay of Bengal, it also shares land borders with Pakistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. Given its size, the country's geography and topography greatly varies by region, and so does its climate. India accounts for the bulk of the Indian subcontinent, lying atop the Indian tectonic plate. Major Himalayan origin rivers that substantially flow through India include the Ganges and the Brahmaputra, both of which drain into the Bay of Bengal. Indian climate is strongly influenced by the Himalayas and the Thar Desert, both of which drive the economically and culturally pivotal summer and winter monsoons. While most of the country's highest elevated points are located in the north, its central and south lands are also very high, reaching peaks up to 3,000 meters. Commonly known as the Kanchenjunga, the country's highest peak elevates itself at 8,586 meters, which officially makes it the world's third highest point. Until 1852, the mountain was assumed to be the highest mountain in the world until proven incorrect by the Great Trigonometrical Survey of India in 1849. There are 4 different climbing ridge routes to the summit, but only one remains fully safe and secure. As a result, the only way to the top starts from northeast Nepal, as the Indian routes are inaccessible. Expeditions over 8,000 meters are rare and require extreme levels of preparation and technical skills and knowledge. Your approach to base camp will take you 15 days, followed by multiple other intermediate camps and acclimatation climbs that lead to the top by day 50 to 65. Our research led us to realize the incredible complexity and extreme conditions this climb requires, as well as the dangers it includes. Ranging from $10,000 to $20,000 per person, this climb is considered to be harder and more dangerous than our 2 following peaks, although lower in altitude. But it is now time to move on to our next country, an incredibly famous peak, coveted by thousands of explorers across the world, the K2 summit in Pakistan. Officially known as the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, the country is located in Southeast Asia and is the world's 5th most populous country with a population of almost 242 million. Pakistan is the 33rd largest country by area, spanning more than 880,000 square kilometers or 340,000 square miles. It has a 1,000 kilometer coastline along the Arabian Sea and Gulf of Oman in the south, and is bordered by India, Afghanistan, Iran, and China. Narrowly separated from Tajikistan by Afghanistan's Wakhan corridor we have mentioned earlier, the country also shares maritime borders with Oman. Pakistan's geography and climate are widely diverse, but we should note that most of the land from the south up is composed by hot and arid deserts, populated by a very wide variety of wildlife. The country's northern highlands contain the Karakoram, Hindu Kush, and Pamir mountain ranges, which contain some of the world's highest peaks, including 5 of the 14 8,000ers, which attract adventurers and mountaineers from all over the world, notably Nanga Parbat and K2. The country's highest natural point, the K2, proudly stands at 8,611 meters. It is located on the border of Pakistan and China and has been summited 10 times less than Mount Everest. As a result, climbing K2 will not be an easy task. Accessible from June to the beginning of August, you may expect your expedition to last for more than 50 days. Starting from Islamabad and following a series of transfers and small hikes, you may reach base camp on day 14. The ascension to Camp 3 on day 25 to 28 is considered the most technical section, with more than 400 meters of steep climbing up the nicknamed Black Pyramid. With a final push aimed between day 33 and 36, the summit will open itself to your group and allow you to enjoy the world's greatest natural marvels. Led by professional and Sherpas, with dozens of summits backing them, you can expect to pay between $15,000 and $38,000 for a full package. It goes without saying that this kind of climb only opens itself to the most expert adventurers, with multiple 7,000 and 8,000ers behind them. But it is now time to move on to our top 2, or should I say our combined top 1, Indeed, our last two countries share the same highest natural point, the Mount Everest. Whether it is from Nepal or from China, Mount Everest is both of the country's highest natural peaks and is also the world's highest point, culminating at 8,848 meters above sea level. We will only focus today on Nepal, as China will be the subject of another video in a close future. Nepal, formerly known as the Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal, is a landlocked country in South Asia. It is mainly located in the Himalayas, but also includes parts of the Indo-Gangetic Plain bordering Tibet and China. Nepal has a diverse geography, including fertile plains, subalpine forested hills, and 8 of the world's 10 tallest mountains. Nepal is a multi-ethnic, multilingual, multi-religious, and multicultural state, with Nepali as the official language and Kathmandu, its largest city, as its capital city. Mainly composed by the Himalayas to the north, Nepal's climate remains rather tropical to the south, where it shares borders with India. The country's highest peak is located at the extreme north of the country, right on the border with China. Its elevation of 8,848.8 meters, or 29,031 feet, was most recently detailed in 2020 by the Chinese and Nepali authorities, making it the world's highest point. It therefore goes without saying that the summit is one of the most coveted on Earth, with thousands attempting its reach every year. 63 days and more than $70,000 is what will be required to climb Mount Everest between April and June. But the Everest is not a chill climb and will require your most technical expertise and physical strength to reach success. With an expert team of Sherpas and guides, your journey starts from Kathmandu, followed by an internal flight to Lukla, north of the country. Your expedition embarks for 10 days of trekking to reach base camp, located at 5,300 meters high. Your acclimatation then starts, and a number of alternative climbs follow to move your group closer to your last stretch. After a more than needed rest period, your expedition will make its final push to the summit by day 55. Trekking down back to Lukla with a head full of memories and legs full of pain, you now have achieved one of the most incredible physical prowess ever given to mankind. Thank you very much for watching this video. My name is Nate and exploration is my passion. Subscribe to this channel for more geography related content and comment down below which summit surprised you the most. Mine was Kakaborazi in Myanmar, as one of the last uncovered points on Earth. How about you?